how will we find a way to get to Chile? Children? There's always a way to find out. Hello, people. This is, episode, I believe, 31 it is. Oh, yeah, I'm finally on the proper month caught up when I'm supposed to record. It really fell with me through April. It was really just Ponciano and Raul Garcia were the two that I scheduled that actually went through, and then the other three flaked out.
Damn. Wait, so how many have you done now? You're 31.
This is 31, yeah.
And have you been doing the podcast the whole year? You've been doing stand-up, or did this come about later?
Oh, from the start of the year. I started it at the beginning of the year.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, because I got this stuff over time, and then stand-up, it more just helps stuff bounce across, and also what other weird people or scenes we come across at open mics.
Yeah. It's a great place to meet some interesting people. You meet some characters.
You do meet some of the characters of the scene. I mean, they obviously have to end up where you are at that same time, but a lot of them are free places, so they might end up there.
Dude, since I run an open mic now, I get to see some of the weirdest parts of open mics, I feel like. Because I've had some real interesting signups, you know? I mean, I had a homeless guy that walked out off the street and then made a joke about blues, like the pills.
Oh, you were saying like meth?
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're pills.
Blues. So were you saying like
this
benzos
is like
or something?
New. This is I don't know. He was
I
talking
know,
about it.
because blues you make me think of like Walter White with the blue meth they had. But now we're saying like blue pill. What are we saying? Freaking Viagra? Okay, we got to be honest with this. It could be anything.
Listen, this weird-looking homeless guy came off the street, and he made a joke about a little blue pill.
Don't just say he was weird because he was homeless. Even if he had a job at a home,
he did do some weird stuff. But he was really nice, and his name was Jason. And then he came in, and he did good. It was his first set ever, and it was at D-Vang, which is not a great place to have your first set. Actually, it can be. And then he was like, "So you do this every week?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Awesome, I'll be here next week." And this week he wasn't here, so I worry about Jason because
we don't know what could have happened.
It's 27th Avenue, and you know what I'm saying. Like,
maybe he started a better life for himself in Las Vegas.
Maybe he was trying to get some more blues jokes, and now he's just.
So he made a trip out to Kingsman, Arizona. Like, this is what I will learn about the blues.
He'll be back in 4 weeks, looking awful.
Imagine trying to do comedy in Kingsman, Arizona. That's got to be a miserable place to be.
I don't think there is anything. There
is no scene.
There just is no comedy.
You don't think there's any bar or anyone there interested in doing comedy? Maybe
if they had a scene, it would be one open mic with 4 people that go consistently.
True. Plus, you'd probably get people who like Cole Eden early on, where they'd be willing to travel over an hour from somewhere else.
That's what I was thinking. Because when I went to Sedona, I was like, "Did Cole even have a single open mic out here?" And it's like, no, you know.
There was probably something in Flagstaff he could have done.
I mean, still, it's
still probably
driving.
Not much.
Still a drive, and it's like.
But that's why he made the move and shit.
Hey, yeah, good for him. Shout out Cole Edens.
Yeah, working out at House of Comedy right now.
Probably up there bombing a 5-minute guest spot right now.
Yeah,
God bless him.
He got one for Kate Quigley. Kate Quigley might have seen him on stage, and so now he's self-conscious that Kate Quigley might have seen him.
I don't know who that is. Who's Kate Quigley?
She's a moderate, prominent comedian. She was the one where that whole story in LA where a bunch of comedians, a pair, died and one had to be hospitalized. She was the hospitalized one.
Oh. Yeah, no, I'm not caught up. I'm not caught up on these people. I should know more comedians than I do.
I knew her briefly a little bit before, but once that happened, that's when I really heard her name.
Oh, okay. Oh, man.
Almost ODing on coke. Do I take that as a sign? Fuck no.
Hell yeah, Karl.
Exactly. No reason to take it as a sign. All right. You go straight through it. All right. Do you think Washington stopped crossing the Delaware when he got into it? No. And neither will I stop the slopes. All right, because I'm shredding them like Shaun White.
It takes a powerful man to say that.
Exactly. Exactly with it. Well, it also requires the self-control and stuff. I know until the next paycheck, no more. Or at least purchase stuff, because then it's all right, then I pace myself how much each one.
I've never seen someone...
Because many people, it's if they have the money, they're going to get it.
I love how deep you went to defend your coke use.
Exactly.
You referenced the first president of America as your
crossing the Delaware.
Crossing the Delaware. A story you probably know nothing about.
Well, I think it would be inappropriate to say I was leading a march across a Birmingham bridge when state troopers came and sicked their dogs on me. I think it'd be a little overzealous for me to try to think that.
I think we're way past that, Karl.
Exactly. Well, I mean, hopefully not too far past it. I wasn't trying to see myself as a trailblazer for humanity. Nothing special. I'm just a person who managed to pop up here somehow. I don't know how I did. Pop up here. I don't know, doing stuff out here, kind of exploring this out here.
Yeah.
With comedy, because I didn't have a thought of it when I was still in high school. Because I thought I was just okay, do the college route. Because that's how they push it on everyone. It's I want to say it's freshman or sophomore year, they bring you in and they wonder, it's okay, what kind of career are you trying to have? Or
you're 15. You're what?
Yeah.
What? Career?
Yeah, with that. Well, I think I said something like business administrator or something else at the time. It actually might have been when I was still trying to do police work. Stuff like that.
You wanted to do police work?
I did. Actually, when I originally came here, what turned me away from it was actually doing a ride-along, and the police officer telling me that being a police, you work with the worst people, both the ones you arrest and the other police.
Really?
Yeah, he said it's all the worst people.
That kind of makes sense. I believe that.
And hearing it from one like that, it kind of I should look towards other stuff.
Yeah. I had a similar thing, Josh. I recently had a switch around because Josh Harrison kind of was talking to me about personal training and stuff because I was interested in doing that. But
honestly, if you could do that, that's pretty good. Especially private personal trainer.
That's what I thought. But then Josh told me that he used to do it, and Josh used to be super fit and stuff, and he used to do all this stuff. And he was telling me overall it's just so much work and mental stress for a job that won't even support you full time.
Oh, really? It's also one of those kind of things you need a side hustle.
You need a side job. And, I've put in about 6 months of comedy now. It's racked in $75.
That's good for you. I haven't won any prize money in any place so far, but it's all right.
Have you gotten a paid book show?
No, none. Because the ones where I've done the book shows, it's not a place where they pay for admission.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's what I assume the whole thing around it is. You get paid if they're charging people for admission at the front.
Yeah, and let's be real. Ain't no one giving up their hard-earned money for us right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm being honest with myself.
Well,
I wouldn't pay to watch me.
Well, most people aren't, but obviously it's if there's a cost of admission, then it should cost. Whereas, if it's free to enter through the door, then I'm not going to ask for payment from there because then they're not making money from people entering.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if they're making money from people entering, it's God damn it, I need a cut of it.
True.
Just like how Conor McGregor with pay-per-views, he gets his cut. He gets apparently $7 per pay-per-view he headlines. So
$7?
Yes. So before just by selling, he makes over $7 million because each one of his pay-per-views easily has cleared over $1 million.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Or not everyone, but at least I think his
that.
top 10 or something around that.
Oh, yeah. No.
It's insane. But
his most recent fights, for sure.
But just thinking he makes, before even the first bell, he's already making $7 million just from pay-per-view sales. But he's obviously the only one who does that. Most I know do not have that.
He's lost his last, out of his 5 fights, he's won, 1.
Yeah, lost 3 out of 4.
He's lost, is that what it was? He's lost 3 out of 4
he beat
fights.
Cerrone, and even Donald Cerrone admitted later he didn't want to be there at the time because he'd been pushed into the fight because it had been on short notice.
Really?
Because they had Conor returned and they didn't know who to bring there, so they're oh, you fight.
I remember I watched that live with my friends, and it was so hype because we waited all night.
Oh, and just elbowing.
And they just got fucking annihilated in what was it? Was it 30, 40 seconds?
Yeah, it was a little over 40 seconds.
And then there was this whole he's back, and then he lost, and then he fucking lost again.
Yeah, once he did. Well, then that was 2 months before they stopped doing events because of the pandemic start. And then it wasn't until January when, they did the first the second one ever. It was the first one in their series, constant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, did you feel satisfied?
He might get to fight for the title next, too, which is insane, even though he's lost.
Did you Did you feel satisfied with how that trilogy ended?
Yes, because I bet money on Dustin, so officially I felt good. Plus, my oldest cousin, he likes to jerk off to Conor McGregor. He'll like show on social media all these flags of Ireland and shit. And I'm like, we share the same Irish grandmother, and I will totally bash the Irish all I need to. Talk about how dirty and disgusting they are. They are.
Yeah,
they couldn't keep their papers tracked when they came over here with my family. We don't know where the fuck they're from there. Because they didn't keep the ones from Sweden. We know exactly where they came from. They kept their papers from like when they got off of the island, Ellis Island, and then they took a train all the way to Santa Barbara.
But then that other side is just lost.
Yeah, it's like they don't know what the fuck, because they're a bunch of mongrels. They don't know what the hell they're doing. All right. There's also no real cuisine beyond corned beef. There is no real Irish cuisine unless you want to jerk off to potatoes all the time. There's nothing.
Yeah, that's actually. Is that for real? There's really nothing.
Potatoes are a big primary part of the diet, or at least historically they were. Not just because of like the soil, how it grew in the ground. I mean, it was also just the climate where there's not much sun. There's not much sun out there in Ireland. Why do you think the people are all so pasty? Or when you get an Irish tan, it's when you're super white, you turn red, and then back the same color.
True.
Yes.
True.
You find ways around Ireland, but
my whole family history is like it's all very simple. It's just we were Native Americans, and then a whole bunch of Europeans fucked a whole lot of us, and I came out.
What were we gonna say? The Spaniards.
My mom looks Spanish. My dad looks Native. Somewhere in there, I'm hella Italian. I don't know. I found that out recently, which I think makes sense. Like looking at it now, but I've explained kind of like. I need to figure out where this nose came from, bro. I got a whole sniffer. I don't know where it came from.
It either came from definitely the Italians or some people living in the Iberian Peninsula, so the Spaniards.
Okay.
Unless maybe you're Portuguese to an extent. Maybe you're also that.
Is there like a big difference between Spanish people and Portuguese people?
Well, I mean, obviously, language.
Well, I know language, but I mean, like ethnically, you know what I mean?
Oh,
I don't know about this stuff. I'm genuinely just like ignorant on this.
I don't know if it's as much ethically as maybe like historical kingdoms, because obviously like Portugal, like it's in the name port because so much of it is at sea, so they had so much of a route out to the ocean. Whereas with Spain, so you would assume obviously there's like Spain would have more of a diverse of a climate place because you got like all the way Catalonia where it collects to France, where it can actually get cold for some weird reason. And then you got south towards like Seville and towards where it gets to the Mediterranean Sea. And that gets all like super warm and stuff. That's where they have the heat advisories there. Not as hot as here, but like, what's to say? They'll definitely get in the comparable to the 90s there.
The 90s.
I want to say like 37 degrees Celsius is what I heard there recently.
Dude, I cannot. Can you like when people say something in Celsius, does it go into perspective to like Fahrenheit?
Like an estimate, not like exactly, but I can tell like an estimate around because I know our like when our temperature gets around like 117, 118, it's about 47, 48 degrees Celsius.
God damn it! Yeah, I never understood that.
I know it was just like a general like it's not an exact. I know like to be honest, I'm probably off by a few.
Is Fahrenheit one of those things that's only in the U.S. as well, or is that?
I want to say a few like smaller other countries, like I want to say Laos and like some like Equatorial Guinea.
What is this? This conversation took such a weird turn. We're just talking about fucking.
Well, we brought up Conor McGregor, where he's from, that dirty man.
Are you like
dirty man.
a Conor McGregor hater just as much as a Queen Elizabeth hater?
Maybe not to the same extent, but yes, I like to cheer him in the same way.
What is your beef with the Queen of England, Karl? Because you're always talking about that bitch. I don't know.
Because that bitch is an Arsenal fan, so seeing her disappointed brings joy to me. And she's had it last week when they lost 3-0. Suck a dick, bitch. Hey, she's them and the entire royal family except William's side. William's side like Aston Villa, so he's a miserable motherfucker in the first place.
Wait, do you care if I smoke while I'm on the podcast?
That's fine. This is a Sigs inside culture here.
All right, nice. I wanted to make sure though, because I feel I was worried. I was like, I started hitting it. I was like, oh wait.
I'm not like one of those people that's like, you're gonna smell up my place. Like, even though like that stuff isn't what gonna smell. If anything's gonna smell, it's my freaking dab rig, and that doesn't.
Yeah, your house. Honestly, I did not expect your house to not smell.
Well,
I expected to walk in here and just be hit with aromas immediately of all different types of substances.
just everything that's going on here. No, I mean, I keep it fairly contained. I do have the flour and such, but I more use it out there and such, where I have the dab rig for here.
Like, with all due respect, you have an incredible place, and I really like. It's very nice. I thought it was gonna be like a mess when I walked in here. I thought it was gonna.
Well,
be
we're
like,
also gonna be ready to like slowly move out, and I still have to like sweep everything and such. But it's just like generally because in 2 weeks I'll be moving out.
I just imagine like I'd walk in here and your TV was like face down on the floor, and there's like a puddle under it.
You expect me to have like a giant bong with some like nasty ass bong? Oh God, I remember someone like that where it literally was getting brown at a point. Like that part over the green. Yeah, I remember seeing it. Just,
moss bong water. It's like growing shit.
I don't get how this guy doesn't like even just like quickly like dip it out. He just leaves the same water in all time. It was just hilarious. Okay, because this was also when the whole hoverboard thing was trendy, and
The
this
Segways?
guy had like a gold-plated covered hoverboard he was using all the time. So it was just hilarious to see how he's in this dirty ass place with this dirty ass bong water.
And he's just gliding around.
Yeah, he has that, or he wasn't using it. I had just seen him around previously on that.
Dude, I knew
because he was a tall black guy with like a blonde kind of like curly mohawk top.
What a character. Do you have a joke about? You should have a joke about this guy, because I know you're just telling me a person, but
well, it was the first summer I was here, and so there was no one else really on the floor that I knew to get high with and stuff. Because we had previously gone to my place. It was the first time I went to his place. Just seeing that there, I was like, ugh.
That's a red flag, man. Like when you see that nasty bong water, like there.
No, yeah. Well, that's why with Gavin, I'm telling him it's like you gotta clean your freaking dishes, man, because he leaves them like in the side sink. Because the thing is, Gavin and Noah, they were objecting to me putting this poster up in a common area at a place when we would live like in a home, and we'd rent a house in Tempe. They objected to me having this poster.
Why?
Oh, because they said like, oh, how it looks. And that's why I said I'm only going to compromise if they don't have the dishes in the dishwasher all the time. They can't. It's like you got to clean after 24 hours. You got to clean whatever you put in there.
I can't imagine that there's many things that make a place with Noah and Gavin look worse.
I know, yeah. Well, it's just thinking it's like you objected this, but you're not going to like clean dishes. Like, come on now. Let's be real here. What do you think's more objectionable if you just walk in as a single person?
Probably the dishes.
Yeah, because I'm just saying that's more of like a sign of lethargic.
Honestly, bro, I got some dishes in my room right now.
So it's like whatever. You're at 18 and stuff. It's like you're not like at that. I'm talking about people that are on their own, like them.
That's true. I also live in my mom's house.
Exactly. You're still
dude. Life is easy right now.
You're just finishing up the damn high school and shit. It's,
dude,
yeah.
That's always what I've been telling people. Like, you know how like when you're growing up, you're like, I have the worst life ever. Like, I hate my life. And then like the other day, I was like sitting there and I was looking at her and I was like, my life has been so easy, just all the way through. Like, I haven't had any any problems. I was like, what's like the worst thing that's happened to me? And
so
I really
felt like a quasi like a child of royalty.
Dude, I do. I feel like I was like, I remember thinking, I was like, I am such a shitty person.
Yeah, like
and nothing but good things have happened to me, and I don't deserve any of it.
Get that intersection, like where you are near where you lived. You described it. I remember, what was it with Seth's podcast or some other one? Or no, maybe it was Seth describing where it was. Seth and Chew Deer on the latest podcast of Seth, where the intersection where it is.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you grew up in that area, but like I grew up so like
dude,
you grew up so easy.
Because I live in my house is like it's not like huge, but it's a
trailer
2-story
park.
It's a 2-story house, and it's like in a hidden neighborhood. So it's like It's kind of like a secret, like a private. So there's like
You're
all the
try-
crackheads. There's like a barrier there. You know what I mean? Like a force field. They can't get in there.
You're trying not to let the black people into the neighborhood. This is new. This is new technology for redlining. Okay, now they actually keep them out.
Oh God.
A force field. You just see that now. I could see that.
No, but it's like invisible. They don't see it. They just like they walk by like all
so
the
it's like
hobos.
shopping carts where you can't take it past a certain point.
Exactly.
It's like that with people now.
No, like when the crackheads are walking down 27th, they'll look over at my neighborhood and all they see is like just like an old shitty Mexican restaurant that no one would ever want. Like the most unappealing looking food. They just keep walking.
They don't realize what's on the.
They don't realize
side.
behind there's like bunnies and roses everywhere galore. Just.
I like this idea. This is better than in Brazil when they just put up those
wall.
those walls to cover up where the favelas were. It's like they should be doing this. They should be disguising it as forestry.
Yeah.
Look at this. This
like
is the Brazilian forest. Don't think it's a shanty town.
It's like in a video game where there's like convenient blockades everywhere. You're like, oh, I can't go that way, but you don't even think twice about it. Did you ever watch that Futurama episode where they had the zoo? Where the animals didn't know they were enclosed?
No, I didn't. I hadn't seen all of them. I had seen a fair amount of them, but not all of them.
You haven't watched all of Futurama?
Not all of them. God damn it. I haven't watched all of a lot of stuff.
Bro, Futurama was one of the best animated shows I've ever watched.
I know it was pretty highly rated, and what is it, like the writers kind of like they were smarter than the show they were for themselves. They were I think they were even Ivy League graduates or some of them.
There was tons of like years of Harvard on that writing team. Like I remember they had like I saw this like
you would
video.
think it's like some appellate court of judges, but it turns out just to be some writer for an animated 21st Fox Century show.
That's almost better though. That's not no, and it was great because like you'd watch the show and it was kind of like. There'd be a lot of like humor that'd go over your head unless someone pointed it out to you because I'm too monkey brain to get it.
Oh yeah, that early age. Oh, totally.
Like I mean, I watched it when I was like 14. I missed half of the jokes.
I mean, I had that when I watched The Simpsons and stuff. Obviously, a lot of the same writers.
Yeah.
But it's some of the jokes go over your head until you're older, and then you realize, let's say, the play on words or maybe the ironic statement being made.
But not even just that too. Like some of them, like I feel like even now I'd miss if someone didn't point them out to me. Because they were so well done. Like a lot of them were like, it was like nerd humor. You know what I mean? Like a joke you'd only get like the professor would be speaking gibberish, but sometimes it wasn't as gibberish as you'd think, and he'd be like saying some really like jokes about shit we wouldn't understand. You know? I don't know.
You're saying like topical stuff or insider joke stuff.
Yeah, like you have to be a fucking smart person to get these jokes.
Yeah.
It's like the Rick and Morty. Fucking Futurama walked so Rick and Morty could run. All right.
Yeah, but that one was just like weird absurdity shit.
Yeah.
Although it was funny seeing people get all hyped up for Szechuan sauce. I wonder how those people feel now, looking back on it.
It's gonna be so embarrassing, man.
Imagine being someone knowing that you stayed and waited in a line for Szechuan sauce when you could have gone by your nearest Chinese market and got better quality Szechuan sauce for a cheaper price.
And like not all the lines and stuff. Just a nice, dirty Chinese restaurant. Just a classic.
Exactly. Well, I mean, that's the restaurant stuff. I was talking about the markets. They're not always clean and stuff, but that's what I prefer. All right. I just need a bare bones supermarket to go to. I don't need anything fancy.
Do you like dirty Chinese spots?
Yes.
I will seek out dirty.
I gotta make sure I always see a pair of cooks out behind where the kitchen is, just crouched down, smoking, going like, "Eee."
Oh yeah.
And it's like
that's where all the flavor comes from.
It's like that's how I know that's proper chefs. All right. If I don't see that in the back, right out there, if I don't see smoking chefs, I am not going in there.
And those bathrooms better look like Golden Margarita. You walk in there, there's just toilet paper clogged in the toilet, and just no soap.
One of the bathrooms, the doors doesn't fully properly open.
Oh yeah, you gotta kind of squeeze in sideways.
Yeah, you can close it, but how it opens, it only opens 60% of the way.
Dude, no, it's sad. Golden Margarita's done. Do you hear about that?
Yeah, well, I remember you brought it up, and I thought, it'll just be after the finals. But then you said they had different ownership. It's like, Maybe they did cancel it.
Yeah, I think it's cooked for good because I haven't heard anything about it, and it's sad, man.
So a Tuesday open mic, kind of an opening for it, but not with something to try to conflict with Tempe Tavern. That's what I'm wondering. Is there a way, kind of, if there was another open mic, they could adjust it with Tempe Tavern?
I feel like a late night bucket would be one of the possibilities, kind of like Devil style. Another alternative would be like an early mic, but I don't know who would hit an early Tuesday mic. Like you could also just do same start time as Tempe Tavern, but like people like have it somewhere close so people can sign up for both.
True. Maybe that's something to look at.
Like if I was gonna run it and there's a mic, I'm not gonna do it tonight.
Or even if it was in like 15 minutes of like driving distance.
Yeah, I'd easily do that.
And street distance, not like freeway distance, 15 minutes. Because my thought, what I was looking at is the soccer club I like. They're at Fibber McGee's, which is at Elliott Dobson. Going there because they do have the PA system and microphone set up. I don't know if they'd want like people to, like if an open mic was there to bring their own, but finding out when their slow time is, hopefully it is a Tuesday.
Yeah.
And doing it then. Plus, it's also the Seahawks bar too, so we don't have to worry about any football scheduling because they never play NFL games on a Tuesday.
Ooh, that's good. So you wouldn't have to worry about those games getting in the way.
If the Seahawks ever played a Monday night game, we wouldn't have to worry about postponing a mic.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Yeah,
because it is annoying when the sports get in the way of the mic, because I also get it because then it's just fucking up business for the bar. So
this
it looks
place
bad.
is also a Seahawks bar too. That's why.
I don't know anything about the Seahawks.
Oh no, it's just like they're kind of like fan bar in the valley, like fans of them that live out here.
Oh,
they kind of like how where Josh does their show. That's the Packers bar. That Casey Jones.
Josh
Harrison
has a show.
The one he does once a month, the Sonoran Showcase.
I thought that was. Oh, that's Josh's show. Oh shit.
Yeah, that's Josh's show.
I don't know why I thought it was someone else's.
He books it, runs it just once a month, but it's pretty good because it's a well set up room, at least what you'd expect for like a bar or grill. It's better than, and yeah, but like those places. But obviously, let's say if he did that on a day the Packers would play, that'd be definitely a problem.
Yeah.
But he does it on a Saturday, and the NFL doesn't play on Saturdays unless it's like they have Christmas Day on Sunday. But then at that, I'm sure they would postpone that.
Dude, that's what happened with the DBG and friends I was on.
Oh, really?
They landed on a Suns playoff game.
Oh, now I remember the one.
And you know what the fucked up part is? We would have gotten like 12 people, but Garrick and I went out barking tickets, and we got like 9 out. So we had a crowd of like 21 plus the other comics. It wasn't a great show. It didn't go well all the way through, if I'm being completely honest. Like I had an okay set, but honestly, I was not happy. You know how like
you just couldn't get that energy from
exactly
to deliver the set. Yeah,
I'm so glad I was on because I mean I'll always get up and I appreciate getting booked, but it was more like it was an unfortunate event, and I was just like, fuck, man, like, god damn. And I remember my first 2 jokes flubbed, and I was just like, god damn it.
I had a thought about like barking for like trying to promote it somewhere, and I wouldn't mind if I went with other people who were on the show, and I'd get in some costume and trying to promote it that way. I don't mind if I got to dress up as the fucking Queen of England, get in a dress, and go out there and start barking. I'll freaking do that. I don't give a shit.
And start promising like you're gonna do that for the show, and then just come out in your regular fucking clothes and do your.
No, the only time I will promise to do that is once that wretched witch dies. Once she dies, I'll probably go out once trying to dress up like her
Karl,
and make fun of her.
If the Queen of England dies...
When she dies, wherever I'm...
If she dies before you...
We're going to have to stab a stake through her heart. That is.
If she dies before you OD on coke.
Yes. Well, I mean, I could be hit by a train. Why are you just limited to the powder, all right?
I'm looking at the numbers
I
here,
could
Karl.
also be dismembered by a gorilla, okay? What if a silverback gorilla found its way to dismember me?
No, you know what? That's fair. That's totally possible.
Exactly. Whatever.
But let's just assume. Like if the Queen of England dies before you, Karl, I will message you like an amazing text about how proud and excited for you I am.
I can't wait for the
I'm going to post it on my story.
I can't wait for the news of when she does die, and I just get flooded with a bunch of messages being like tagged with the news.
Dude, I want to be the first to tell you Just like a TMZ headline and just like a
That first notification you get.
That's the day like your stand-up takes off too. Like I don't know what it is, but that just switches something inside of you. That now that she's gone, you become a headliner within months.
Maybe that's who needs to be sacrificed. That's why I'm saying like she can't live forever. If a stake has to be driven through her heart, by God, I will go to Windsor Castle and make sure it gets done.
I mean, she could drop. What do you think the odds are of the Queen dying? How old is she? Like 90 something? Or am I
90? Yeah, or 96? Yeah, 96.
You ever think about that? Like when you see an old person, you're like, the odds of you dying every day are very plausible. Every single day.
Oh, that's how it was for my grandmother when she was into her hundreds. But I mean, she passed away at 101, so she knew it was coming. It wasn't like a surprise.
I've heard that like people when they get that old, they just want to die.
Yeah. I remember her at 90 thinking it was crazy for anyone wanting to live to be 100 because it's like, what is there to do? Because you're probably not going to be mobile when you become that age.
You're not even doing anything by like 85, 90. Like by then you're kind of like it
just becomes difficult.
They're not gonna watch this. My girlfriend's grandma wants to die so bad.
Hell yeah!
And it's so funny because like they'll be just like, "Hey, grandma, what do you want to do today?" She's like, "I just don't want to be alive anymore." And it's just like, okay, grandma, we'll go to First Watch then.
Get all the paperwork ready. Or I don't know what Arizona's laws are, but how it was for my grandmother in California. She was able to get a pink slip that was by the front door, so if the paramedics ever came through, they would be alerted like, "Oh, don't resuscitate this person."
That's
but awesome. I mean the times like she fell and they came in, it's like, oh, it's like she's not gonna die, but she does have like something broken.
Yeah,
so like that. But yeah, she knew like at 93 she had it ready.
You like write your will up, you're just like, and then imagine that you like by the time you're 90 you're planning for your death.
She had her will ready before I was born.
Really?
Yeah, because both of her parents died when they were 75. So before her birthday, before I was born, she thought that would be her last birthday. I knew she lived till like November of last year.
How old do you want to die at? Like if you could choose an age right now, what would you choose?
75, around there. Yeah.
I'd take a crisp 80. You know what I mean?
Crisp 80.
Nice 80.
It more depends on mobility and such.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if I'm not mobile, then it's like, what's the point of that?
Yeah. There's like fucking nothing to do.
Yeah, and it's like, I'd rather not be a dapper on others. And I mean, obviously, let's say people are like, oh, what if you have grandchildren to live for and such? And it's like, okay, then like live for them. Just realize you're going to be a miserable hag confined to this whatever, like transportable chair that you have to use to go up and down the stairs because your knees don't work, obviously. And I mean, the quality of life, it just sucks. It's like, does it really outweigh it? And don't think like, oh, it's selfish for you to like kill yourself. It's like, think of all the people that love you. And it's like, them, what about me, motherfuckers? Like, God damn it. I want to die.
I hope I get to that point where I can just be like, all right.
You got to get your own Dr. Kevorkian to come help kill you.
You know what's got to suck? If you get to that point and you're religious and killing yourself is a sin, so you can't even get the fuck out of there.
That's what gets you marked away from the eternal destiny you want.
It's like, let's see, went to church every Sunday, got married, fucking baptized first.
You were a good citizen who helped in your community, but you committed suicide. Oh, that's a no-no we have here, sweetheart.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Sorry, you're going to need to go to purgatory with the undead babies.
This guy right here raped 25 people, killed 37, spent 40 years in jail, but he said he was sorry. Get on in here, man.
Exactly. See, if you repent at the end of your life, it'll all be fine.
Do you think that it works out? Because they're like, well, God can forgive everything. So why don't I just wait till the end and just do it a lot? Why do I got to keep bothering him every week?
I feel like some people do that. It's like, I'll get to it when I'm at the end.
But then you just die before you. That's kind of the gamble you're playing.
Then you do it like internally within your soul as you're dying. Then you start trying to like say, oh God, I made this mistake. It was wrong for me to kill that busload full of children. Something that.
I like that. I like that joke premise of like, you apologize right at the end, so you don't bother. That'd be a good joke. like I'm just gonna live a terrible, terrible life, and then I'm gonna do all the worst things, and I'm gonna get to the end, and when I know I'm gonna die.
So Catholic priest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go, God, I am so sorry about all of that, and then I'm gonna just go right on through.
I made my mistake. It was wrong for me to hurt those people in life, but I am repent and give myself to you, the Lord.
Are we just being dicks now to religion?
No, I mean we could do it anything in general. We could do it to other religions and stuff. I like the Sikh religion where in India, like how they don't shave their hair. They're supposed to carry a dagger with them at all times. So if you ever see someone who is wearing a turban, they might have a knife on them.
Wait, what do you know the name of this religion?
Oh, Sikh.
Sikh?
So Sikh.
Sikh.
So like the Indian people you see with the big beards and the big hair up, and they have to wrap it up. Yeah, there's like 5 Ks in their religion, and 2 are that, like the hair thing and the carrying a knife with you.
Huh. Yeah, I want to know, like, it's got to be pretty fun to start a religion and getting to set all these fun little rules.
Ask L. Ron Hubbard.
Who's that?
Scientology.
Oh, he's a Scientology guy?
Yeah. Well, because he had the book Dianetics, and Scientology was a way for him to take the sales from Dianetics and make them tax-free, because it was a religion now.
That's fucking funny.
That's pretty much all it was. It was just a tax haven.
Well, man, I should start I want to start a religion and just make it super silly and shit. Just like,
well, I mean, there's the
on Wednesdays you have to walk
the
on
Church
all
of the
fours.
Flying Spaghetti Monster. That's one.
I've seen that.
And I want to say they actually have gained status now because it's been 50 years. Because you need to be practicing for 50 years for it to become a registered religion with the IRS.
50 years?
With the IRS. Well, that's if you want tax exempt status.
Oh.
Do you not want tax exempt status? Aldo,
I mean, I'm actually young right now.
Do you not want a perfect way to take the donations from your parishioners and funnel them off so you can buy yourself a golf course?
Doesn't sound bad. I will say. Maybe what would you name your religion? What would be your? Like if you got to make a fun little religion, what would you do with it?
What would I do with it? Oh.
Or like rules you'd have, you know? Like I'd have like funny weekdays of the week, you know? Like on Monday you gotta walk around on all fours, and like on Tuesday.
I mean, in that case, with like a day of the week, it's like, all right, we're only gonna have 6-day weeks, but we're gonna randomly just cancel one day of the week.
What do you mean?
Well, we're gonna decide, and you're gonna know by Sunday evening before sundown. You will be informed through the national the national communication system, what day of the week has been canceled for the upcoming week.
Oh, so there's just no Tuesday next week.
Yeah, it's like, so there's no Tuesday, and it's like this week. It's like, oh, there's not going to be a Saturday and such.
Oh, what a bummer.
Exactly. Well, it's not like you wouldn't have like days off and such. You would still have the day off. It's just, I don't know, whatever that day. There's no longer the Saturday the 23rd now. It's gone now.
Now it just goes
Yeah, it's
Friday
just gone.
the 22nd, Sunday the 24th.
Yeah, we just skipped an entire day. Exactly.
Just for funsies. I like that.
Exactly. Or something like that. I mean, that's just off the top of my head thinking right now. I mean, I think I'd do more one where it's like at the end of the year, we're gonna try to cut off the bottom 1% of the population. I mean, ones will die throughout the year. But just at the
is
end,
that financially, or is that...
No, not financially, because people that are always the richest aren't the best. It would be like an overall score, like an index score, maybe.
Who would rate? Would it be like other people rating each other?
Somewhat, exactly. I wouldn't want to make it like that social credit score the Chinese have and such. But let's just say that bottom rung of people that are holding others back. Everyone votes someone else off.
Ooh.
And what I mean by the bottom 100th of a percent, that would, I guess, the top 100th of a percent in votes. We just cut them all off.
That could actually... It would make it very hard to find world leaders after that.
Exactly. Well, I mean...
You make one bad political move and they kill you off at the end of the month.
I mean, it's just... It's just 1 out of every 10,000 people we're killing. Come on.
You know, when you put it that way... have you ever seen that thing where it's like...
Sure, it might be millions of people dying.
Would you get $1 million, but a random person dies right now? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know that person. Who gives a fuck?
Ari Shaffir had a joke. He's like, oh, a random person dies? Like they do all the time? Like every day? Everywhere? Like since I started the sentence, someone's fucking died.
Yeah, if my grandmother was still alive, I would give them my number. It's like, here, she's going to die soon.
Yeah.
It's like, go take her. She even wants it as well.
Oh, yeah, no.
She's a frugal lady. She grew up during the Great Depression. She'll be glad you did this.
And it's anyone in the world. Maybe I'll kill someone in somewhere shitty where they want to die. Like maybe someone in like El Salvador dies, but their mom was taken hostage, so it's fine. Like they were having a rough time.
Yeah, it wasn't going the best or the hostage taker. It could be also as well.
I free someone.
Exactly. See, you could do help to the world.
Maybe I kill like some big like corporate pedophile. Just off random chance. So what? Because
oh my god! Imagine what kind of companies if their CEOs were pedophiles. Oh my goodness!
What companies do you think have a pedophile
PetSmart.
CEO? I was gonna say PetSmart.
PetSmart.
Why were you gonna say Pets? Why were we both thinking PetSmart?
Because I feel it's just a very shady looking place. How they set it up.
They're always in a
shitty
shitty
fishes
place.
like to some place, and they only serve. It seems like the birds, the doggies, and the cats, but they don't really have. They really only have stuff set up for the birds and the whatever else I was thinking. But they don't really have too much set up for the cats and dogs, only supplies and such. But just that with the fish and the birds, it's just shady over there. I don't know what it is, man. Because I feel like PetSmart, that's just the way it is. I would have thought Petco as well, but that one's probably just rendering some organized crime syndicate.
I feel like... No, see, the thing with PetSmart is, like, PetSmarts are always in really bad places. Like PetSmarts are only in crime hotspots.
Like undesirable, like, buildings.
Yeah, no, they're like ugly all the time. Like, they're always on a white building, but the white building's, like, moldy, and it's kind of, like, black. And it just...
it's like you can see the dirt where
it's like Christown. Because Christown has a PetSmart. That's the one I'm thinking of. Like, there's always like every time I imagine that a PetSmart, I imagine a Coke bottle on the floor in front of it. Like, because that's just kind of like they're shitty. They suck.
I imagine just a bottle of Wild Turkey whiskey and an empty pack of natural or what is that, American Sweets out in front of that Petco.
Yeah,
or PetSmart. What am I saying? I should have got.
That's part of their brand.
What other ones should it be? I'm not going to go after the shipping companies yet. What else I'm thinking? Oh, Oakley. The CEO of that is definitely a pedophile of Oakley.
You sound a lot more confident. Is there a reason behind this one?
Exactly. Do you see the kind of people that wear Oakleys?
It's one breed. It's one breed of dudes, and they're my dad.
Oh, I was gonna say it was the ones with the lifted the white guys with the goatees and the lifted trucks.
My dad's just a Mexican guy with a goatee and a lifted truck.
All right, so he's
a Mexican. He's a Mexican.
He's a spirit animal of an Appalachian white man.
No, my dad. We were telling my sister this. I was like, I think if my dad was white, he'd be a redneck. I think if my dad was white, because we went shooting one time and he loved guns, and then he loves his truck. He loves Oakley sunglasses. He loves dirt bikes. He loves fucking Jeeps. Like, it's just like...
Well, at least the dirt bike one's a little bit
racist.
More normal.
He's homophobic. No, he hates gay people. Like, it's just...
Exactly. He's always like, Aldo, I don't want you being one of those fag boys.
Jesus Christ.
What do you think you're doing over here? I gotta slap you again with the leather from my belt. My name's Buck Buchanan.
Buck Buchanan.
That's when I go to Europe, I'm gonna wear a cowboy hat and I'm gonna tell everyone. I will say my name, like my name is Karl. Like, but if they want it, they can call me Buck. Because I don't know why that just seems like a hilarious name to tell people.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Bridge. Oh, that was the former owner of the Oakland Raiders, Al Davis, towards the end of his life when he was falling apart. both figuratively and literally. He's an ugly man, isn't he?
He looks like he's. I wish the camera could see like.
Oh, he was a few
looks
years from
dead.
dying at that point.
Really?
Yeah.
What did he die of?
Oh, I mean, it was just like, I think like kind of natural cause. It's just like organs of the body shutting down. I mean, he was like an old motherfucker. And now his stupid son with an ugly bull haircut, one that you see school shooters have. All right, now he's the one running the club, and he moved him to Vegas, that asshole. Because he's a cheap ass.
Are you? You're like super into sports, aren't you?
I definitely am, yes. That's why I was saying my groups of friends were like ones that go to baseball games out here all the time.
Yeah, no, because I only see you in jerseys.
Exactly.
I've noticed you are constantly ready for like any sport. You just I don't know. Are they all? They're all soccer jerseys too.
Well, most of them, yeah. I have some like other sport ones, but these ones are just more easier to wear other places because they're not ones people notice all the time. Yeah,
because they're like smaller teams. Where'd you even get all these?
Exactly. Well, I mean, online. Well, I mean, this is a Swedish national jersey. I just got this. It was worldsoccershop.com. It's one based in the U.S.
Are they expensive?
No. I mean, they're like fairly priced. It's like if you get a name on it, it's probably gonna cost around $100 for like a basic.
God damn.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you just get the regular jersey like itself, you could probably get it for about $80.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
Or if you don't care about which team, there are ones where you can just have it randomly sent to you and it's a cheaper price. But you don't even know who the fuck you're gonna get. You'll get the right size. You just don't know who the hell
like
you're
North
gonna
Korea.
Get. Yeah, you get to the North Korea national team, or you get some like club team out in the middle of a freaking Paraguay.
Like 12th place in the Portuguese league.
Yes.
Like some fucking
the 12 play. I could see that with that, or like the Dutch league. You got like some team that's like fallen to their second level.
It's that Chinese team with Iniesta on it when he was like about
or he went to a Japanese team. Iniesta.
It was Japan.
Yeah, Iniesta was Japan. There were some other. Yeah, he finished with that because most time
it's for a cash grab.
Oh yeah, definitely because you get a bigger contract. But most players when they do that, they just do it for like one season, maybe two, and then they're done.
Yeah.
I know the rumor is Messi going to Inter Miami at a point.
Inter Miami?
Yeah, the soccer club, the MLS club in Miami.
No way.
The one Beckham owns.
That would be insane.
I don't know if he would get a portion of it, but I guess the thought is, he's in Miami, he doesn't have to learn English because he doesn't know like fluent English.
Oh yeah, dude. No, I mean, he grew up in Argentina, or no? Didn't he grow up in Spain?
Early in Argentina, and then Spain because the Barcelona academy, he was part of that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he grew up there, but he doesn't really know much English. Like I think he knows like little bits, but really nothing.
Dude, that's gonna be. It's weird because I grew up watching like Ronaldo and Messi, and they're both gonna fucking retire within the next 5 years. There's no way they're both still standing.
Yeah, you would expect 5 to 6 years them to retire because I'm thinking about their age. And it's like, could they go? It's like, 40s might be pushing it.
I think they're also both like players that because they were so talented, they've spent so much time like
they've also already hit their peak.
They've hit their peak, and they're like, I feel like at this point they just train for longevity. They're just trying to make sure they can keep playing and stay in as long as possible, because like even now they've both slowed down.
Yeah, they're not what they used to be. Obviously, skill prowess wise, they still have obviously like a spatial awareness. They can like determine there's open space on this side, so like move out here.
It's more like a lot more like mental of a game as opposed to just going after like physical and like.
That's like in baseball when you stop pitching as fast, but you're better at locating your pitches.
Yeah.
So it becomes like that where you become better at accuracy, but you're just not as fast. You're just not as quick.
Yeah.
You just don't react to it as well, because that's how it happens. You take that slide down that incline, and you don't know if it's gonna make you end up on another continent playing or what. Because obviously it works for. Well, I mean, you could do that with, I guess, basketball, because now they've had European basketball expand. Because I was just thinking, what other countries or sports where you can go to another country and pretty much still do it professionally? Not many.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe some others, because, I mean, baseball, you could go to Japan or, like, Korea or Taiwan. But those, it's like, Usually when you're there, you're still trying to make it back.
It's all about getting back to the MLB.
Usually if you're there.
Yeah.
Because they have scouts always at those places. I mean, by now, each team, I would assume, they have Japanese scouts that'll go throughout the country. because like their main scouting department, wherever their base, like wherever the team is, will be like, hey, we want you to go check out this guy, because maybe they came up in their system that this guy is like potentially someone they'd want to look into.
Yeah.
So it's getting to travel around the world. And speaking of traveling for comedy, are there any places you've looked to travel for? Like obviously upcoming. You're still early on, but just.
Dude, I've been thinking like, well, I want to get better at first here in Phoenix, just develop. But I was just thinking like looking at other scenes and hearing about like what people think of them. And I mean, the obvious choice or like the classic, like the one most people go to is like New York, you know, because they just have the best scene that there is, really.
There's just so much opportunity for open mics.
For stage. There. Yeah, and like, but I also think if I want to go over there, I'd rather be better, you know? And then there's also...
you want to do it when you kind of have peaked here.
Yeah.
And so then it's like, okay,
like
now
once you're like doing great in the Phoenix scene, you know? Like,
oh, like, yeah, like Tristan, like I feel Tristan, with him, give him like till when he turns 25, and I think that's a good time for him to move.
I think, isn't he leaving at the end of this year? Or I heard that.
I think
someone
so.
Told me that.
I thought it was good for him 25, but he's close enough. I mean, he has so much experience down with it. It's not too bad. It's just I don't want to be at my point where I'm only coming up on a year and thinking, all right, I want to move to New York.
Yeah, like that's I don't know. But I also was looking at like I forget what's the best Texas, the city.
Oh, Austin.
Is it Austin? Yeah.
Yeah, because I think Dallas may have a little bit of a comedy scene, but I heard there's nothing in Houston.
Oh, so it's all
Austin practically. Because the thing is with Austin, you have all those stages for music, so those work perfect for comedy.
Stand-up, yeah.
So they have so many shows.
I don't want to go to L.A. I don't like the whole idea. First off, I don't like L.A. at all. I don't like my comedy is more East Side. I've been told, you know, like I kind of just do more comedy that relates to that side.
East Side. What are you talking about? East Side LA or East Side of the Valley? Here?
East Side of the U.S. Like New York style, or like that's what I've been told.
Wait, what's a New York style? I'm now confused what a New York style of comedy is.
Apparently, like. Because
I mean, I know Boston and Philadelphia comedians are more known for being brash, but that's more because the people there are known for it.
Yeah, but I'm saying like I don't know. That's what they tell me, like because that's most of my inspirations are comedians from like New York.
Oh, I see. They see elements of it. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So because it's like you have like a New York style comedy. It's like, what the hell are you trying to say? But elements. Okay, I can see that.
That's just kind of like because that's just like the comedy I liked growing up.
Okay.
So I feel like it'd make more sense for me to move that direction, and then also I don't like.
Do you remember which
LA
comedian piqued your interest?
No, yeah, I know the one. The reason I started stand-up was because I got really into Mark Normand.
Oh, Mark. Oh, he got you into stand. Oh, I was just thinking comedy in general. Like, it didn't have to be getting into stand-up straight away, but just like in general.
Comedy, like George Lopez when I was little.
Okay.
But I mean, now I don't really like George Lopez as much. But when I was little, he was like the first.
I saw him when he performed just south down here.
How did he do?
Oh, fairly well, because his opener did about 25, 30 minutes, then he did about 45 minutes, and that was the show. It was a decent show. That Wild Horse Pass, what they have there. But yeah, he flowed from each bit to bit really well. He also had that good one about how Mexicans think gluten is just the burn mark on a tortilla. Because they hear gluten-free, they don't know what the fuck that is.
See, but that's kind of why I got like tired of George Lopez really quick. Because I feel like George Lopez really was hanging on. Mexicans be like...
Oh, the identity stuff.
And white people be like, and it's just like, honestly, every time I hear someone say like white people or black people or like just immediately start heading in that direction, I just kind of I immediately like tone out because I've heard that damn premise of like, oh, people of different races are different. You know, like it just, I hate that style of comedy now. And it's so hard for me to watch because I just like...
Because you feel it's very like a Mad Libs kind of like, oh, insert race here, insert punchline here.
Or like when a black comic's on stage and then a white person in the audience says something weird and they go, that's some white people shit. And that gets a laugh. I'm sorry, but that's so cheap. I hate riffs like that.
Oh, the cliche.
Yeah, the cliche.
Okay, yeah, that's annoying.
Oh, it's just...
I see you on that, yeah.
And that's what George Lopez is for Mexican. He's just like
a lot of his show is, but I thought what he was performing on, like the gluten stuff, I thought that was kind of like, okay, I'd never heard that before.
Yeah.
Going off of that.
And he's probably still, I mean, there's a reason George Lopez is as good as he is and I'm not. But that's my, like, why I don't like his stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, like, seeing the show, he just flowed from bit to bit so well that it's kind of like, okay, this is how you do it professionally.
Yeah.
It's good because he looked naturally, like, going about it and such. And it didn't feel, like, overly drawn, the show and such. I mean, he didn't talk all about, like, stuff, Mexicans and stuff. He, like, I don't know, in general, like, the area. I know he talked about, like, Wild Horse Pass, like, for some reason with the name, what he thought it was, blah, blah, blah. It was interesting. Because right before the pandemic, I did see at Tempe Improv Joey Diaz.
Oh, how was that?
That was a fairly good show to see. Because before him, there were two openers, which I found out were later. They were a couple. The guy, he did a little cliche thing where he tried, when he was doing bad, saying, like, oh, I'm sober. And when I hear someone, like, they just say, like, they're sober, and it's like, they're just trying to get claps at that point.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Like, just trying to get audience reactions to get
Yeah,
it back.
but he dug himself out of it. And then his girlfriend, she was more consistent. And I found out later she actually got literally Harvey Weinsteined.
What do you mean?
Like, Harvey Weinstein assaulted her when she came to L.A.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, the one who was an opener. I didn't find out until afterwards. I was like, oh, shit, it was actually.
That's crazy.
And then, yeah, obviously Joe, yeah, he did really good. The bit that stood out to me most to me was when that experience about giving some guy, like, epilepsy medicine and the voicemails he left.
Have you heard him on the Joe Rogan talking about the time he shit in his backyard?
Oh, was it where people thought it was like a bear?
Yeah. And he's like, you think they shot his fucking head off? You think they blew someone's brains out? Like,
he's a plethora of good stories. I remember, like, a really old one of him. He was telling about this thing called, like, erotic banana night at this strip club in, like, the Meadowlands Inn. And it's like the woman would take, like, you'd get the frozen banana. They'd take the banana. They'd put the banana in their pussy, and then they'd give it back.
Oh, no.
It was erotic banana night.
And it was legit? There's no way.
Well, what he saw, that's what he told about it.
Have you heard his, oh, God. Have you heard his...
Or one of his better stories, the one that got Tom Segura laughing, was some, like, young lady. He got him to, like, in the back, like, suck him off, like, give him a blowjob, and he, like, it came on her. And then, like, there's an outburst, and then he's mad about it, but only mad that he didn't pay for it, because the guy, I guess, pimps her out, like her ugly husband.
Oh, like, in a comedy club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how he was just being upset that he didn't get his $40. Just how he tells that he's upset. It's like, I want my $40.
He told, or he have you ever heard his Me Tooing?
Oh, yeah.
He's like,
when he jumped out of the bush with that one lady when he was young.
He's like, listen, Joe, we've all Me Too'd somebody. That's how you learn to stop being a Me Tooer. Because you Me Too, and it feels bad, so you're like, I'll never Me Too again. And I was just like, I'll never Me Too again. I don't know why that line got me so much.
It was correct because you learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, exactly, Joey Diaz.
Exactly what going up with it, you fools. And I liked when he had Felipe Esparza on, because I learned from him. I have the same screwed up foot condition as Felipe Esparza with plantar fasciitis.
Really?
Yeah.
What does that do?
Oh, so, like, the tendon that connects the toes to the ankle, it just starts to get, like, swollen and inflamed when pressure's constantly puts on it, because it needs support. Because both might not be the same level. But yeah, speaking of Felipe Esparza, I saw a video outside of one of his shows where people got into fights. It's like, this is typical.
Was it at Stand Up Live?
Or no, it was in L.A. It was like someplace in L.A., like the Orpheum Theater or somewhere in L.A.
Oh,
it's
that's
like
funny.
And I found it just from a baseball thing, because it's like, oh, this is a baseball fight because there's a bunch of Dodger hats. Exactly. Hey,
he was good. He came to Stand Up Live. He was really good.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah.
Damn, I should have seen him. God,
should have told me, bro. I would have got you in. Actually, no, he sold out. He sold out every show, I think.
All right, whenever it's like the least busy show, that's the one I'll try to go into. Yeah. I don't even care if it's the first one when they're just warming up and shit. Okay, That it is what it is. Sometimes you can't get your picking. Beggars can't be choosers, all right. I don't know why beggars can't be damn choosers. Just like when you get a child, and it comes out and it's a little dumb. That's how it is. Oh, we're towards the end.
Well,
all right, we can. Oh, because it's almost approaching the hour mark, and plus the open mics and stuff.
Oh yeah, I gotta go hit. I'm checking out Taco Shit Tuesdays.
Taco Shit Tuesdays? Oh, shit. Wait.
It's, I don't know much about it, but he said poets, rappers, and comedians.
All right, so expect Theodore Chris to be there for poets.
Oh, no. Theodore, this is Theodore. We're on Theodore's home court tonight, dude.
Hell yeah. All right, you gotta see if you can tame the Birdman.
No, I fear for him because it's a black room and Theodore, well, he will do things that were not good in a black room.
Is it like that thing you did with Chudir where Chudir said Malcolm X said when he was asking for suggestions and Theodore said like chocolate pussy?
No. He's one time Chudir requested the N-word. And he did it. I've talked about this on a podcast twice now. It's funny. That's because it's so funny. The story's wild.
Well, I mean, we don't have proof of that stuff happening. They just hear this anecdotally.
I probably shouldn't. We should have said first name, but oh well.
Yeah, if we had to mute it out, they're fine with it. They don't know what it is. I've had other comedians and stuff. I only bleep it out if I know the other person's gonna watch, because I've had that before. But it was definitely great bringing you on in this stuff. We'll have to find. I'm going by House of Comedy. You're going by this Taco Shit Tuesday.
I'm gonna go talk my shit Tuesday.
Exactly. Talk about your shit. Talk about your garden shit.
I'm just
talk
gonna go
about
up there
your
and say I'm a
terrace shit,
rapper, and then just start rapping instead.
Exactly. It's like, and then at the end do the whole stereotypical. But I ain't a rapper, because that was all the weird kids 10 years ago did. Later.
What's done is done.